Well, this is it. This is where I got my start in Central Florida. Right across the way is Chatham Square, a apartment complex that was a part of the Walt Disney World Disney College Program. That's where I stayed for 6 months. Now the property we're looking at has been, I believe, sold off from Disney, and I will explain why on today's episode. Hi everybody and welcome to the World of Micah. A lot of people always ask me, how did you get started in Central Florida? How did you move to Orlando? And I am a Disney College Program alumni. They call it the Walt Disney World College Program. A program that you basically can enroll in either during or post graduating from college. I was a Disney College Program attendee. I lived in Chatham Square and I worked at Walt Disney World, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I was a tour guide at the Great Movie Ride. No longer work for the company, no longer work for Walt Disney World. So my plan is just to walk around the property today, kind of have a little discussion about my college program experience and see what all has changed here at the former home of the Disney College Program. Now, let's take a closer look. Now, a lot of people ask me, what was your college program like? What did you do? Where did you work? Why did you end? Did you graduate? Yada, yada. I hear a lot of questions. I went to school for graphic design. During that, I applied for the college program. I got accepted in. I came, did 6 months of work, worked at the Great Movie Ride, graduated. I was technically on the extended program. They wanted me there until August when everyone else left in May. So May came, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay till August. Well, June, I decided to go home, had a family emergency, and I needed to get back home. So I left, Disney was cool with it. They're like, yeah, you were originally supposed to leave in May, so we'll just put your departure date as May. Graduated with Mickey and Minnie, got my diploma, got my ears with a little tassel on it, and that was that. So this apartment complex is called Patterson Court. You could stay there, or you could stay where I stayed at Chatham Square. And honestly, they give you, when you first sign up, they ask, do you have a preference on the apartments you would like to stay at? And the apartments are pretty much done by rent. You pay a weekly rent. I believe I was paying $91 a week for my rent. But Disney makes sure that you have enough hours weekly to pay for your rent. Sometimes you'll have just a little bit of money left over. Not really. You kind of live like you are in college. I mean, it's ramen and peanut butter sandwiches every day. But yeah, I chose Chatham Square, and the reason I did is because the street over here is called Chatham Manor. And I don't know, for some reason, that just sounded like the Haunted Mansion to me. And so I was like, I'm gonna stay at Chatham Manor, Chatham Square. Funny how you make decisions on things, right? Look at this fountain. Watch it. Oh, there it goes. Occasionally it'll turn on. Not sure what's up with that. Now, right here, let me show you something interesting. You can still kind of see it. Now, bear with me. A circle here. A big circle here, and another circle up here. They had a rock formation that you can kind of see still with the leaves and the separation of the grass that formed a little Mickey right here. They have removed that. So March of 2020, reading this, Disney internships and programs announced the suspension of the Disney College Program. Also, the international programs, so they had kids who would come over from a different country to work for Walt Disney World. Most of them were placed in the World Showcase at Epcot. This was during the whole initial breakout of everything, and this was in both coasts, Florida and California. Now, the California College Program isn't as popular as the one here in Central Florida, but they still suspended that as well. On July 2nd, 2020, the Disney College Program announced that they would be suspended for the remainder of 2020. This was kind of when everybody was like, all right, we're not opening up the rest of the year. Like that's it, we're done. No more Disney College Program. Rest of the year is done. Then, just in time for the holidays, December 16th, 2020, it was announced that Disney was closing it indefinitely, suspending. They were suspending this indefinitely, citing uncertainty of when it will be able to resume in the future. Now, everyone was major bummed. I thought that's it, there's no more college program. They're gonna find a different way to do this, and that's it. Well, things changed. March 9th, 2021, last month, at the Walt Disney Company shareholder meeting, CEO Bob Chapek expressed interest in resuming operations of the Disney College Program by the end of 2021. He also mentioned that he wanted to kind of invite back some of the folks that were doing their college program so they could fully, experience what a real Disney College Program is like. They have since then opened up the Flamingo Crossing area. There's dining, there's shopping. It's also the home of the new Disney College Program. And over here, there is a few security guards, but they have removed everything Disney. Banners, signs, everything. All the Disney stuff is gone. So we're gonna walk around and see what has changed, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a backstory on the history of this thing that all happened literally a month and a year ago. This is what I'm talking about right here. Chatham Manor Boulevard. That's legitimately why I wanted to stay here. Now, as you can see in this building over here, completely removed all the college program banners. Used to be banners over there that said Disney College Program. It was, you totally knew this was Disney. There were banners everywhere, all out here. There used to be a bench right over here that was a Walt Disney World Resort bench, a wooden and steel bench, just like you would see in the Magic Kingdom, because this was the bus pickup. See, it still says bus only, stop 3 right there. I believe the bench was like right here. This is where the bench was. It's no longer here. And they have removed everything from the bulletin boards up here as well. Nothing on the bulletin boards. All the activities of the cast members are gone. So this is basically just a vacant apartment complex now. Disney has been storing their vehicles here. So a few of the vehicles they have still down here. But right down the street is something very, very cool. Right over here is Mickey's Retreat, a campground kind of recreational place for cast members and their friends and family, I guess you could say. You can bring guests. Look at this. How cool is this? Most people don't even know this exists. You got Mickey and Minnie here. And that's everything they have to offer. There's tennis courts, basketball courts, baseball, there's soccer, there's a beach area, all kinds of stuff. Still surprised this sign is still here. Now the gate is open. I'm not sure what they're doing, so I'm not gonna walk up because I know it's closed. But yeah, you can kind of see over here is like the recreation place. The beach area is over here to the left. There's like a little lake. They're doing lifeguard training over here. There's like basketball courts, all kinds of stuff. They do have this open right now, I guess, for lifeguard training. That's what is on the sign right there. Lifeguard training only, but there's the lake, the canoes. It's pretty nice. Nice pool over here. And yeah, you had to check in with the guard. But yeah, Mickey's Retreat right there on the sign. You can see that. Just like at the parks, there's the warning signs. Very interesting, right? Guessing they're getting everybody trained up for the summer for the water parks at the resort. Now the apartments over here that I stayed at were fairly nice. I didn't like how there was like a community laundromat. So like if you started your laundry, you legit had to stay there and watch it, because if you left, someone would come in the second your clothes were washed. They would take your stuff there on the floor, get disgusting, and they would throw their stuff in there. It was kind of ruthless. So yeah, I honestly I think I pushed all my stuff like the last second of having to do laundry when I was doing it. Oh, hey, look. Yeah, so there's the tennis courts right there. And I want to say like right over there was a pool. I think this was the pool house. Honestly can't remember. I do know that my room was kind of in this back area over here. Standing on that purple box right there, you really don't want to be walking around off the main walkway here, because this is surrounded by a large lake. That's why they call this area Little Lake Bryan. There's also a lake right over there at Mickey's Retreat, so lots of alligator, lots of snakes in this area. I have seen them even on the main path. There are alligators and snakes here. It is Florida. But I remember not really liking my room either. The walls were very gray. It was kind of that same color right there, like a grayish green. Green carpet. The most outdated and boring furniture you could ever see. But realistically, it's the Disney College Program, so you're working like 12-hour shifts. Overtime is just given to you. It's insane. Like, you are a workhorse for the Walt Disney Company, but it gives you a lot of insight on how working for a large company is. I do not regret anything that I did. It was such a fascinating time. I mean, it was so much fun. And I got to work at the Great Movie Ride, my favorite attraction of all time. I have so many wonderful, weird stories from there. Maybe one day I will get into those. But that's where I stayed, right there at Chatham Square. There's two other locations here. You have Patterson, and then you have the the ICP, not the ICP you're thinking. No clowns over there. This is the International College Program, their complex. And then you have Vista Way, which is over on 535 near downtown Disney. That was the first college program apartments that opened off of the Snow White campground area that I've shown before. Link is above. 1987, they opened Vista, and then continuing after that through the years, they opened up each of these complexes. We're gonna go check out Patterson, check out some more stuff down the street. So all this is buses only. Tons of Disney buses would be driving through here. You've probably seen them. They were the TransStar buses. Those were the buses that picked up the college program students and took them to and from work, because a lot of kids came from all parts of the country. A lot of them didn't have vehicles. A lot of them didn't want to bring their vehicle to Florida. I had a car. And if you had a car in the college program, you were popular, because people did not want to ride the bus. They wanted to ride with you. So I made bukus of friends. Well, what I thought was friends. People just wanted to get a ride with me to and from work, to and from Publix, to and from these places we were going. They didn't want to ride the bus, because you had to ride a bus to go to places like Walmart or Publix. You had to ride the bus. So imagine going to Walmart in a bus, getting your groceries, and then having to wait on that bus. And hello, how you doing? You had to wait on that bus, get back in the bus with all your bags of groceries, and then come back here. No thank you, I had a car. I was taking the car. It's one of the guys that works the apartment complex here now at Chatham. That was funny. I didn't see he was going behind me there for a second. Thought he was gonna say something to me, but very nice. All right, cool. Gonna continue to go. But yeah, this is where the buses would pick you up. You would see so many people in the morning right here trying to get picked up for their morning shift. You gotta pay attention, because somewhere around here on the ground is a signature. I've showed this before. I always like to show things. There's a signature embedded in this ground that I hope they never get rid of, and I don't see why they would get rid of it unless they just decide to repave the whole walkway area. But if you blink, you'll miss it. I'm telling you, if you blink, you miss it. But there it is. Goofy signed his name right here in the cement. That's a 30-something-year-old signature right there. Isn't that funny? I remember finding that when I used to do my walks out here at night during my college program. Sometimes at night I couldn't sleep, so I'd come walking. Because I am from a small town in Mississippi, never did I ever think I would live in a big city like Orlando. Never did I ever think I would work for a large company like the Walt Disney World Company. Massive fan of the Walt Disney World Company, the Walt Disney Company. Not just Walt Disney World, but the Walt Disney Company. And I don't know, sometimes I was afraid it was all a dream. And I don't know, I couldn't sleep well. I would go and walk, clear my head. And yeah, I spent many times walking around this complex just like this. It's pretty nice. Feels like a lifetime ago though, honestly. It wasn't that long ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago. This is the back end of Chatham Manor Boulevard. You guys can see through this fence here. Now this is nice. This is a nice way for us to look in and see somewhat of the complex. Yeah, I was on this road, but all the way down on the other end there, I believe. I really can't remember. But they never used this gate. They never utilized this gate. There was one entrance, one exit. That was the one I showed you guys with the security. But yeah, and then right across the way, this is Patterson Court, which has also removed all of their Disney banners. That's why I believe these were sold off. During the shutdown, the lockdown in Florida, we weren't really allowed to go places. I would do drives to clear my head, you know, and to get out and see some sights. I would drive by here. I would come all the way down over here, and they were doing all kinds of construction and fixing this place up. So they have definitely changed it. That's for sure. And I don't think Disney is in charge of this anymore. But they have no problem telling you no access here. That's for sure. It's not it's not a inviting place for those who don't have access. But I had some friends who lived here, Patterson Court. These were super nice. They had really cool balconies, as you can see. On the inside, it was a little bit more modern than Chatham. I kind of like these. The rent over here was a little more pricier. Really not bad. But at the same time, for what you're paying for this, you basically could get your own apartment somewhere in Orlando and have a roommate, but have your own room. At least, you know, you could do that. Here at the college program, you didn't have your own room. You were sharing a room, and it's just, I don't know. It was just, you worked a lot. We'll just say that. You worked a lot. But if if you got your own place somewhere else, you were paying probably the same amount. At least you would have your own room. But honestly, it was like summer camp. It was like a Disney summer camp. It was awesome. I'd get up, go to work. After work, I'd go home, I'd change, I'd go to Universal because I had an annual pass. Or I'd go to the Disney parks because you had unlimited access to the parks. I was always at the parks. I was always at the parks. On my off days, I'd get up, I'd do the responsible stuff. If I had to do laundry, I'd do it. I'd go get some groceries for the week, put some gas in my tank, but I had nothing really to do. I cleaned my apartment at night when I was bored, so the apartment was always clean. My roommate's really good about keeping it clean. So on my off days, I was always at the parks. I wish I was doing YouTube back then because I could have gone daily back then. But you know, that wasn't really on my radar at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do back in those days. The band I was in had recently separated, and I was kind of at a crossroads in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing the band thing for almost a decade, touring and playing all over the country and writing and recording music, and all of a sudden that was over. With the college program, I was able to secure a home in Orlando, and I also met Abby during my college program. She was not here, she was in Mississippi, but we were introduced to each other through mutual friends on Facebook. Funny how that works, right? This is Patterson right here, right across from Chatham. Oh, that guy's working on the little fountain over there now. Tell you what, there's one thing for sure. This place is definitely a lot more quiet than when the college program was happening. Buses always coming by, people always walking around. This place was completely different. And this is the other side of Mickey's Retreat. Those are soccer fields right there, and you can see the baseball field in the distance. And the buildings were where we were on the other side there, looking at the little beach area and the pool. It's pretty big. And here's another view of Mickey's Retreat. You guys can see the soccer field. Pretty big. And there's a baseball field out in the distance there. All the buildings. But yes, I was a tour guide at the Great Movie Ride, which means I was the guy on the microphone in the vehicle taking you on a magical journey into the movies. So much fun. My favorite ride, a favorite attraction of all time. That was what I did. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And when that place closed, it took a little piece of me with it. I just had a lot of memories, not only working there, but just being a fan of that fantastic attraction. Now straight ahead on the left, this is the apartment complex known as the Commons, which was the International College Program Complex. And I remember we were always so jealous of these guys because they had washer and dryers in their apartment complex, like in their actual building, like their own building. They had their own washer and dryer unit, so they could do their own laundry in the luxury of their home. Little things. When you're in college, little things, I don't know, it's so funny. We always used to be like, oh man, the ICPs, they got their own washer and dryer. Of course, they were also in a completely different country. It's the least we could do, right? But yeah, I met several folks who lived here and worked over at the World Showcase in the different pavilions. Pretty rad. They loved representing their country over at Epcot. It was a big deal, and I can totally see that. They took pride in it, and I think that's a cool thing, you know? I thought it was really cool. We're gonna walk up here and see what the entrance to this looks like. I bet it's the same as the other two. They removed all the banners, the Disney banners, probably a golf cart up here. The door's wide open. Wondering if they're renovating these as well. Who knows? It's a cool bike. All right, here we are. The Commons, also known as the ICP. Yeah, no foot traffic over here. Yeah, all the Disney stuff gone. There used to be these big banners that went across like right here. All gone. But as you see, they're all the same, whereas you have to drive up, check in with the guard before you could go in. Huh. Yeah, there used to be these huge poles right here. Had the Disney International College Program on there, the DICP. No more ICP here. But yeah, if you walked on your foot right here, I think you had to walk through here. And then, yep, right there, stop and show ID. The sign's still there. How cool is that? And then right across, this is the Vineland Outlet Mall. Right there, that's the parking garage for the Vineland Outlet Mall, and the Mary Queen of the Universe Shrine is right over there, the chapel, but that's the Outlet Mall. I would legit walk from my apartment and cut through here and go right into the Outlet Mall. Ton of college program kids used to do that. Now up above right now, I did a video on how and why I moved to Orlando, Florida. Check that video out. I did that a while back, almost a year ago. Kind of went into more details on how all this kind of stuff happened. I like to talk about this from time to time because I get asked that all the time. Are you native? Were you born here? You know, what's your story? For the most part, I explained my story on that. Eventually one day I'll make a video talking about some times at the Great Movie Ride. We'll do that. It'll be fun. Well, we came, we saw, we experienced what this area is like, the former home of the Disney College Program. A lot has changed. We'll have to see exactly what happens to this area. Who will take over and what will it become? We'll find out in the future, but I think our adventure for today has come to an end. Which means it's time to say goodbye. If you enjoyed this episode and our little talk, please give me a thumbs up. I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.